There's already no justice in Tanya's case because it's a state case.
Lorelei Williams was only 16 years old when her cousin Tanya Hollick went missing from Vancouver's downtown east side.
This has been so traumatizing for me. I never attended the trial for a reason, because I didn't want this trauma.
Her cousin, along with the remains of 32 other women, were found on Robert Pickton's pig farm. That grief dredged up again when Williams says she and other families found out from local advocates only days ago that the evidence might be destroyed. RCMP have been applying to the courts since at least 2020 to dispose of exhibits from the Pickton trial. Evidence like shoes, a pillowcase, sexual aids.
Why, in this case, are they trying to erase the evidence?
Sarah Jean DeVries's mother, who bears the same name, was among those whose remains were found on the farm. She, along with other victims' families and more than 40 groups advocating for missing murdered Indigenous women and girls, want it stopped. They fear the loss of physical evidence could jeopardize future cases.
This latest step by the RCMP to seek disposal of all exhibits, a mere 20 years after the investigation on the farm began, sends the message that the missing and murdered women's cases are closed, despite the majority of them being unsolved.
Pickton was found guilty in 2007 of 6 counts of second-degree murder in the deaths of 6 women. 20 additional first-degree murder charges against him were stayed because he was already serving the maximum sentence. That controversial decision was announced by the Attorney General at the time, Wally Opal. He later led the inquiry into the Pickton case, which found egregious police errors.
At some stage, you have to rely on the RCMP. All these years have gone by, and there hasn't been any other evidence pointing to any other offender. So I understand what they're trying to do here.
Opal says it's common for evidence to be eventually destroyed, especially when it seems unlikely to be used anytime soon in court. But still, victims' families like DeVries believe Pickton didn't act alone.
Every single person who brought a woman to that farm, anyone who was working on that farm, should be held accountable.
RCMP declined an interview, only sending a statement saying in part, all possible evidence has been captured and retained. The disposal of property would not affect any future prosecution. For these families, though, it's little reassurance after decades of broken trust. Leanne Young, CBC News, Vancouver.